begins with a whisper. A secret shared across a table shrouded in shadow, meant to draw you closer. Her voice is soft, conspiratorial. "You know," she says, her eyes wide, reflecting the single candle flame between you. They are pools of manufactured innocence. "I've just never gotten along with other women." And then the final, carefully placed stone in the foundation of her narrative. "All my friends are guys." You don't recognize it at first. You mistake the red flag for a banner of uniqueness. She's not like the others, you think. She's different. She's special. This is the first spell she casts, the illusion of being the exception. It's intoxicating. You feel chosen. You are the one who gets to be with the girl who is above petty female drama. But then the quiet dissonance begins. A phone that never stops buzzing. A constellation of names on her screen. Mark, David, Alex, Ben. Each one a best friend. Late night calls are explained away with a casual, "Oh, he's just having a crisis. He always calls me." Inside jokes fly that you can't decipher. You are a tourist in her life. You feel a cold thread of isolation weaving itself around you. Her world is a fortress, and her friends are the spectral guards on the battlements. You are not a citizen. You are a temporary guest. You begin to question it, gently at first. You seem to talk to Mark a lot. Her face, once a mask of vulnerability, hardens. The air grows cold. "Are you trying to control me?" The words are icicles. "He's just a friend. I can't believe you're so insecure." Suddenly, you are the problem. Your concern is reframed as a flaw. This is a classic narcissistic maneuver. Darvo, deny, attack, and reverse. Victim and offender. Your reasonable boundary is now her oppression. Your insecurity is the issue, not her behavior. Let's be clear. This is not a coincidence. This isn't a personality quirk. It is a meticulously crafted psychological environment designed for one purpose: to feed her ego. The phrase, "all my friends are guys," is not a statement about friendship. It is a statement about power. It's a declaration that she operates in a world where she is the sole object of desire and attention. She doesn't seek friendship. She seeks an audience, a harem of adoring fans who provide a constant stream of validation. This is called narcissistic supply. Each man in her orbit is a mirror reflecting back a different, flattering version of herself. To one, she is the fragile damsel. To another, the witty, intellectual partner. To a third, the cool girl who is just one of the boys. She is a chameleon, a performer. But the show is not for them. It is for her. To convince herself that the hollow space inside is full. So why not other women? The answer is simple and brutal. Other women are not a reliable source of supply, they are competition. Women who are emotionally healthy and self-aware can see behind the mask. They recognize the performance because they've seen the play before. They don't offer blind adoration, they offer authenticity, which the narcissist cannot tolerate. Genuine female friendship is built on a foundation of mutual vulnerability, empathy, and support. The narcissist is incapable of all three. Vulnerability is a threat, for it risks exposing the fragile ego and the emptiness beneath. Empathy is a foreign language she cannot speak. And support is a one-way street. She only knows how to receive. A woman who proudly declares she has no female friends is telling you she rejects accountability. She rejects true connection. She rejects half of the human race as unworthy of her company. Let's create a case study. Let's call them Elias and Lilith. Elias was drawn to Lilith's fire. She was charismatic, the center of every room, a whirlwind of energy. And of course, she told him the sacred words, "All my friends are guys." Elias felt a surge of pride. He was the one who had won the prize. He was her chosen confidant, her partner. The friends were introduced slowly. First, there was Julian, her emotional rock. He was the one she called in tears after any minor inconvenience, a crisis only he could solve. Elias would offer to help, to listen. "No," she'd say, waving a dismissive hand. "You wouldn't understand. Julian just gets me." The first wall was built. Then came Mark, the adventure buddy. Plans with Elias were cancelled last minute for spontaneous road trips with Mark. "We just have that same spontaneous energy," she'd explain, her eyes shining. Each man served a purpose. Each one fulfilled a need she refused to let Elias meet. This is triangulation. She intentionally creates a triangle of jealousy and competition with her at the apex. Elias was kept in a constant state of anxiety. He was always auditioning for the role of boyfriend, always being measured against the ghosts of these other men. She would casually drop comments. "Mark is so good at..." or "Julian always says..." Each comment was a small cut, a reminder that he was replaceable, that parts of her were reserved for others. This isn't about having friends. This is about maintaining a stable of options, a backup supply. It ensures that no single person has enough leverage to hold her accountable. If Elias leaves, Julian or Mark will be there to tell her how unreasonable he was. Her support system is an echo chamber designed to reflect her own narrative of perpetual victimhood and specialness. There is no one to offer an outside perspective, no one to say, "Maybe you were wrong." The transformation for Elias began not with a bang, but with a quiet observation. It was at a party. Lilith was in her element, flitting from one man to the next. He watched her with Julian. She was fragile, her hand on his arm, her voice a soft murmur. He saw Julian puff up with pride, the designated protector. Then he saw her with Mark. Minutes later, she was throwing her head back, laughing at a coarse joke, punching his shoulder playfully. The cool girl. The mask had changed. The fog in Elias's mind began to clear. It wasn't a personality, it was a series of performances. He wasn't in a relationship, he had been cast in a role, and his character was being written out of the script. He saw the truth. These men were not her friends, they were props. They were validation vending machines, and her relationships were not connections, they were transactions. He walked out of that party. The cold night air was a shock, but it was real. For the first time in months, he could breathe. The spell was broken. So when you hear those words, "All my friends are guys," I want you to listen. But don't listen to the words. Listen to the silence that follows. Listen to the story that is not being told. Hear the ghosts of the female friendships she burned or never built. Hear the insecurity that requires a constant chorus of male approval. Hear the void that she is trying to fill with attention. It is a profound statement of distrust for her own gender, and if she cannot trust, respect, or form a genuine bond with half of the world's population, then you must ask yourself, with brutal honesty, what kind of bond she is truly capable of forming with you. This isn't a red flag, it's a siren wailing from a desolate shore, warning you of the rocks ahead. It's a confession disguised as a quirk. Pay attention.